They would be filing an amended lawsuit against Baldoni and parties. Well, they're not ready. Her C-list lawyers sent a letter to the judge, Judge Lyman, asking for an extension.
Blake Lively's learning the hard way that court is not Hollywood. She's now made multiple attempts to gag Justin Baldoni and his attorney, now wants the case dismissed, and now is fighting back against a deposition. So in a newly released letter, we are now finding out that Blake Lively is not happy with Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman.
For those who are not in the Hollywood world, what is wrong with her taking over the film?
I've never seen it before in my 30-plus year career in Hollywood. And an executive producer is below a producer in the film world. An executive producer signed up to be an executive producer, and that's it.
In a shocking turn of events, a judge has delivered a devastating blow to Blake Lively's alleged agenda in the highly controversial Justin Baldoni trial. What was supposed to be a legal battle focused on Baldoni has now taken an unexpected twist, with Lively's involvement coming under intense scrutiny. Reports suggest that the judge wasted no time in dismantling what some are calling a sickening attempt to manipulate the case's outcome. As courtroom tensions rise, the verdict on Lively's role could have serious consequences for both her career and reputation.
A judge has denied Blake Lively's request for a gag order against Justin Baldoni and his team of attorneys. There was a hearing today where both parties argued their sides. Blake Lively and her team argued that Justin Baldoni's attorney shouldn't speak to the media, so that's why they requested the gag order. But Justin's team argued that Blake Lively did the same thing, referencing the original article published in the New York Times. While the judge ruled that there would be no gag order in place, both sides have now been ordered to follow New York's rules of professional conduct, which prevents lawyers from prejudicing their juries with comments. So the attorneys are still allowed to talk to the press in order to defend their clients from bad publicity. Blake's team also made a complaint to the judge about Justin's new website dedicated to the case.
In the ongoing legal battle between actress Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni, a significant development occurred recently when a federal judge ruled against Lively's broad request for Baldoni's phone records.
Blake Lively's team had asked to subpoena Justin Baldoni's phone, meaning, and not only Justin Baldoni, the entire team that they had sued, meaning like 5 or 6 people, and they want not only to look at text messages in regards to the case, but in regards to everything.
And they want to go back 2.5 years.
Yes, with their internet browser history, so they can see whatever they Googled. I mean, if they do that to anyone's phone, you're gonna find stuff that are suspicious, don't you think? I mean, you Google many weird things. I think for them to ask to have access to Justin Baldoni's text to his wife, I mean, isn't that outrageous?
It sounds like an overreach, if you ask me.
Yeah, or like Justin Baldoni's lawyer called it, a fishing expedition, which is a word he used on purpose, I think, because that's a word that judges don't really like. And this is, like he also pointed out, this is not a criminal case, and Blake is not the FBI. This is a civil case. So I think asking for this, do you think they're going to get it through from the judge?
Not altogether, but you know, you can do it in defamation cases though.
Yeah, but I think limited in defamation cases.
The conflict between Lively and Baldoni began during the production of the film It Ends With Us, where Lively accused Baldoni of misconduct. She claimed that after raising concerns about inappropriate on-set behavior, Baldoni and his team initiated a smear campaign against her. In response, Baldoni filed a defamation lawsuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist Leslie Sloan, alleging they sought to destroy his reputation and career.
Justin Baldoni just dropped his $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Oh, and he just dragged Taylor Swift into it. Let's get it. He's suing for extortion, defamation, breach of contract, the list goes on. Earlier this week, we saw that Justin dragged Marvel and Disney into the mix because he wanted footage and documents related to Deadpool and Wolverine to prove that Ryan Reynolds was trolling him in the new film with the nice pool character. And remember when Ryan Reynolds allegedly berated Justin Baldoni at their penthouse when they had that all hands on deck meeting? And in it, he refers to celebrities coming in and out of the penthouse. Well, now one of those celebrities has been named. And it's none other than Miss Taylor Swift herself, who defended Blake Lively. Interesting that Taylor Swift has remained silent in defending Blake Lively publicly when she seems to have been involved in the It Ends With Us drama. And as we know, Taylor Swift's song also ended up being the anthem for the film during promotion. Very interesting. I'll do a deep dive on the podcast this Friday. I have to read through all of the documents, but get ready. This is going to be a wild ride.
Why do you believe that these allegations may have teeth?
Well, first of all, remember this PR team was the same PR team that Depp got back in the Amber Heard and Depp case. Now, most PR firms, you assume, are supposed to promote their clients. That's not what this PR firm does. And it's what's clear in Blake Lively's complaint is they do exactly the opposite. They go out and intentionally fabricate stories, create smear campaigns, and with TikTok and all the other social media. And that's what happened to Amber Heard. They went after her to destroy her rather than to try to promote Depp. And it worked to a large extent. We had a very conflicted jury. They found in favor of both sides.
As part of her legal strategy, Lively's legal team issued subpoenas seeking Baldoni's phone records dating back to 2022. They aimed to find evidence supporting her claims of a retaliatory smear campaign, which she alleged began in August 2024.
Lively served the subpoenas on or around February 12th. The subpoenas requested all documents concerning ingoing and outgoing calls or text messages related to telephone numbers belonging to certain Wayfarer parties and related individuals. Within the time period of December 1st, 2022 to the present, the hair care professional wanted all of this information for an over 2-year period.
However, Judge Lewis Lyman found these subpoenas to be overly intrusive and disproportionate to the needs of the case, especially considering the time frame of the alleged smear campaign. He quashed the blanket request but allowed Lively's team to pursue more narrowly tailored requests for specific communications relevant to her claims.
Judge Lyman continues, including but not limited to call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site information. On February 14th, the Wayfarer parties moved to squash the subpoenas as overly broad and invasive. The court ordered the parties to meet and confer and to report back to the court whether any dispute remains by February 24th. It did.
Blake and her team sought access not just to text messages related to the lawsuit, but also to all personal messages, internet searches, and browser history from the past 2.5 years.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, my besties. Do you think that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively had anything to do with it?
This is what Justin Baldoni's team is saying, right? They're saying that Ryan Reynolds pressured WME to fire Baldoni.
Yeah.
And of course, that has been denied by WME. But why then did they fire Baldoni? There are more quotes though out there, and he's saying that I am the man that did it. What did he say? I'm a ride or die guy.
Yeah.
So he takes credit for firing him, and then he's making fun of his last name by calling him Bologna or something like that.
Yeah, Baldoni.
Baldoni, and then he corrects himself and says Baldoni.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. And that's someone they represented for more than 5 years, apparently.
This request encompasses not only call logs, but also text messages, internet search histories, and browser data. The subpoenas extend to several individuals associated with Baldoni, aiming to uncover evidence supporting Lively's claims of a coordinated smear campaign against her.
The tea is flowing in the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case involving Taylor Swift and Brian Friedman and all the characters that are involved. And the cross-fighting here in the legal documents, Justin responds to subpoena, say, hey, this is a massive fishing expedition. It goes back and forth, and that's where we land on the actual documents that we're about to share with you. Umbrella Guy, friend of the program, says Blake Lively wants 2.5 years of Justin Baldoni, calls, texts, real-time location. Watch. It's all because she's attempting further character assassination since her Me Too claims didn't end him. Now, as we know, she claims he harassed her, SH, right? And that's really the big story. But she's also going to claim that he was part of a smear campaign. He's going to argue that was in retaliation. We were just planning a retaliation if you were going to come after me.
Reports have surfaced about a personal trainer who allegedly told Blake Lively that Justin Baldoni had commented on her weight. However, sources indicate that Baldoni's remarks were merely a response to the trainer's questions, suggesting that Lively's discomfort may have stemmed from a misunderstanding. This incident underscores the sensitivity and complexity of personal discussions in professional environments.
So there's two main reasons why I don't trust this personal trainer. Number one, I think it's very childish for an adult to come up to you and ask you a very reasonable question like, hey, how much does Blake Lively weigh so I can adequately train my back muscles to lift her? And then for you to go and run to Blake Lively, who you know is insecure about her postpartum body, and say, Justin Baldoni asked how much you weighed and he fat shamed you, but you didn't hear from me. That is so Regina George coded and not a way that an adult behaves, in my opinion. And number two, a very quick Google search will show that if you go on his website, I'm looking at it now, the main programs he sells are workout programs with Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively. So he's obviously benefiting financially from their friendship. I'll show it to you guys right now.
Blake Lively also filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, alleging discomfort after he described her outfit as sexy. While Lively contends that such comments were inappropriate, reports indicate that she has used similar language when discussing others' attire. This discrepancy has led to debates about double standards and professionalism in the workplace.
Blake Lively being a hypocrite part, God knows what part we're at. Someone sent this to Brian Friedman for an example of how Blake can use the word sexy when she is talking about wardrobe and clothes, but if anyone else uses it, specifically Justin Baldoni, apparently that is SH. Blake did an interview for A Simple Favor 7 years ago, and here she is talking about her sexy wardrobe.
I said, okay, I want her to wear menswear. And so initially the conversations were, okay, she wears menswear as a woman and like no shirt underneath and like how women do it. And we tried it, but I was like, I just think that it really just needs to be menswear. And I know that everybody, you know, the studio and whatnot, they want women to be, so they were like, it's not gonna be sexy if she's buttoned all the way up to her neck and bow ties. And we were like, just trust us, it's gonna be super hot. It's gonna be so sexy. And
here's a little reminder of what Justin Baldoni said to make her feel so uncomfortable that she had to file an SH lawsuit. Mr. Baldoni commented how much he liked her outfit, which flustered Miss Lively. Consistent with past practice, he said, I think you look sexy, in a tone that made her feel ogled and exposed. With other female cast members present, she said, that's not what I'm going for. Bristled and replied, I'm sorry, hot. Deeply uncomfortable, Lively said, not that either. He told another female cast member that her leather pants looked sexy. Well, Blake, you love to use that word to also describe wardrobe when it comes to your films, so why is it such a problem when the director does so? She should not be so stunned when a director also uses that word for a character's wardrobe. Just her being a hypocrite. That word is clearly part of her vocabulary, like everyday vocabulary, but when Justin Baldoni says it, it's a problem. That's SH. That's actually bullshit.
Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, has firmly denied allegations that his client attempted to damage Lively's reputation. Friedman contends that the accusations are part of a vicious attack orchestrated by Lively's team, involving media manipulation and the presentation of evidence out of context.
We plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts.
Justin Baldoni is firing back after Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against the actor, accusing him of unprofessional and sexually inappropriate behavior on the set of It Ends With Us. She also accused him of coordinating a smear campaign.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Baldoni is now suing the New York Times after the paper published a story about Lively's allegations.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
Baldoni claims that the text messages in Lively's lawsuit were taken out of context or excluded. The New York Times said in a statement that they stand by their reporting and plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. Lively said previously that she hopes her suit helps pull back the curtain on these sinister retaliatory tactics to harm people who speak up about misconduct.
He emphasizes that Baldoni's crisis management team operated within standard practices, focusing on hypothetical scenario planning rather than any concerted effort to smear Lively. Friedman asserts that the narrative against Baldoni is demonstrably false and promises to provide evidence to support his client's position.
It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works. Oops!
I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
Oh my God. And then she did exactly that to Justin Baldoni, apparently. If you want to write your own script, you should go write your own script. If you want to sign on to a movie with the understanding that you're going to actually make script changes, then great. But if the idea is that you sign on as an actor and then you turn around and try to take control of the script, this makes you a jerk.
Blake Lively faces allegations of attempting to take control of the project, a move that has stunned many in the industry. Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, voiced his disbelief, stating that in his 30-year career, he has never seen anything like this. Friedman argues that Lively's alleged efforts to dominate the film's production are not only unprecedented, but also highly manipulative.
Time progressed in this film. She decided that she wanted to be a producer. She started to make edits. She wanted to be part of the editing team. There were people hired, like human beings actually hired to do the editing job, who had done work as editors. She wanted to be part of that team. The next thing you know, she took over the editing. She started making threats that she wouldn't promote the movie, that she wanted to be in control of marketing of the movie, that she would do nothing in terms of promotion unless she was the actual editor.
As legal battles intensify, WME CEO Ari Emanuel has stepped forward to defend Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Praising the couple as incredible people, Emanuel dismissed the allegations against Lively as exaggerated. His statement underscores the growing divide in Hollywood over the ongoing dispute between Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Tell me you were paid off by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds without telling me you were paid off by them. Ari Emanuel, who's an executive at WME, Justin Baldoni's former talent agency, and Blake and Ryan's current talent agency. Also the same agency that a few months ago came out and said Ryan Reynolds did not pressure them to drop Justin Baldoni, FYI. Ari Emanuel proclaims that he was the one to fire Justin Baldoni. And Ari just seems real professional about this. He's on to say it is an effed up bad situation what Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. Ari praises Blake and Ryan for being really incredible people who never had any bad mojo out there or treated people badly. They are charitable. They're giving tons of money away.
While some industry insiders stand by Lively, others remain skeptical about the validity of her claims. Emanuel's support strengthens Lively's defense, potentially shaping public opinion and impacting the legal proceedings as the case shows no signs of resolution.
He says he's known them for over a decade, and when push came to shove, Baldoni was expendable, explaining, I am a ride or die and they are good people. Oh, hey, Ari, I thought Ryan had nothing to do with firing Justin Baldoni. That's interesting because it seems like he had a lot to do with it. Also funny that you mentioned how charitable they are. I wonder how charitable they are to you. So WME literally fired someone over someone else's opinion of them. And the fact that he's coming out and saying this now after we have seen the evidence from Justin Baldoni's side, the evidence that has debunked several of Blake Lively's claims, FYI. I've already made a video on the WME roster and how there are several example, several people on that roster that should have been fired if it's over SH claims. Mr. Drake A. Minor has been their client for over a decade. Ben Affleck, J Balvin, that's just naming a few. So just add WME to the list of people that Blake and Ryan have paid off.
Author Colleen Hoover, whose novel It Ends With Us was adapted into the controversial film, had voiced concerns about its direction years earlier. In emails to Justin Baldoni, she expressed fears that her story would be misrepresented as a romantic comedy, straying from its original message. These early apprehensions now add another layer to the ongoing disputes over the film's production.
So what Jed Wallace's lawyer is alleging is that Lively weaponized this administrative filing, submitted it to all of these media outlets and specifically the New York Times, and in doing that, he was falsely lumped into all of these horrible allegations of sexual harassment and a smear campaign that he says he had no part of, and as a result of that has lost millions and millions of dollars through his public relations business. So something very important that I noticed in reviewing this is very shortly after Lively's legal team filed the real lawsuit after the complaint, the entire Jed Wallace storyline was completely excluded from it. She was talking about potentially selling the rights to Justin, and she said, "My biggest fear is that I'll sell the rights to someone who thinks it's a rom-com, and they'll take it in the absolute wrong direction." You can't write this! And now we have to move on to the infamous personal trainer. So as I'm sure you guys remember, the reason this entire fat-shaming debacle happened is because Justin Baldoni inquired about Blake Lively's weight to Blake Lively's personal trainer, who was also training Justin Baldoni at the time, which we know because we have several receipts that prove that. So this personal trainer, his name has been revealed as Don Saladino, celebrity personal trainer guy. He had a photo up of his wife along with Ryan and Blake Lively, and he edited the caption.
What are your thoughts on this heated legal battle? Do you think Blake Lively's actions were justified, or is Justin Baldoni being unfairly targeted? Share your opinions in the comments below.